Hello, and welcome to today's edition of Mama's Got Style, how upgrading your look will elevate your business, get you high-paying clients, and increase the fun factor in your life. Today, we're going to be speaking with JoNas Williams, one of my awesome sister goddesses from the Mama Gina community. JoNas, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So can you tell us, you're such an awesome attorney and you've built this amazing business with that. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that and what are you really up to?
Well, I got into it because I went to law school to be an entertainment attorney and realized that one of the things that I was really passionate about was helping entrepreneurs and creative people. And I went and started doing business law. And I took like one business law class and I knew that that was the direction I wanted to go in. Like it wasn't about entertainment. It was about helping people like secure businesses, start businesses, develop businesses, grow businesses, and about empowering people to actually have the kind of life that they want to live. So I ended up going and doing entertainment litigation for a bit and realized that I hated it. I hated being on that side of the law. I wanted to be on the side where it was about prevention and helping people to actually set things up on the right foundation. So as a result of that, I left that firm and ended up starting my own practice. And from there, it kind of grew into not only a legal practice, but also coaching and working with people on their businesses and helping them create businesses and lives that they really, really enjoy. So it's been fun.
Oh, that's so awesome. And just from taking one business law class, how that led to everything.
Yeah, it really opened it up. I mean, leading into law school, that's a longer story, but just I remember really literally being in that business law class and having a moment where I didn't want to leave. And I was just like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And like, I got an A in that class, obviously, because I was like so into it. And from there on, I just knew that spark of a moment of excitement was going to lead somewhere. I didn't know exactly where, because I was still following down the path of like entertainment lawyer, entertainment litigation and all of that. But when I actually, but I knew that it was going to lead somewhere, and it did. It led me right here. So.
That's so awesome, because I took a business law class and I was struggling through that joint.
Different strokes for different folks, you know?
Really.
Because like, I mean, for example, when you look at, you know, fabrics and colors and stuff, and like, it's exciting to you. And I'm just looking at it like, you know, I'm like, I know what I like, but you know, I like shopping. I'm not going to shop.
It's funny, your strength is my weakness and my strength is your, like that's how we support each other though.
That's how we all support each other or whatever. Yeah. We all fill in the gaps in each other's lives and just create this world.
That is so true. Yeah. So what is or what has been your biggest challenge while you've been building your business?
I think that are we talking in relation to style, or are we just talking about in general?
Just in general, like what do you find as a woman building a business? What has or is still maybe a challenge as you're doing that? I mean, like, because you're chief cook and bottle washer, right? You're doing everything.
So. True. I think that, I think that it's just kind of allowing yourself to grow and expand and contract as necessary, because I went from being, it was just me and an assistant, to being up to 10 people that I was employing, down to me, up to, a couple of people. So it's just kind of like feeling into like what it is that I really, really want, and how I want my business to be, and allowing it to expand and grow as I expand and grow, and not being so married to one path and one idea and one way of doing things that you don't allow yourself to continue to, go down the path of wherever it is that your spirit takes you. And I think that was painful, because it was also an expansion of my own identity, like how it was that I saw myself went into how it is that I changed my business. When you're an entrepreneur, it's, most of you're married, like your business is, you're married to your business in a lot of ways. And so just kind of letting it grow with me versus keeping me stuck in an idea around a community and a movement that I had already created, I think has been the challenging thing, but it's also been really rewarding too, to allow myself that space to grow.
That's an awesome way of looking at it. Yeah. Because there are ebbs and flows, and you're going to go up, you're going to go down. You might go way up.
And you're going to change. You're going to change what you want. You're going to change how you want to live. You're going to change what you want to offer. You're going to change like so many things. You can, and you can't be so married to your business being a certain way, because then you're just an employee. You have to be the CEO and make those executive decisions and say, okay, you know what? This is no longer working for me, or I've expanded in this way. I'm going to shift and change to this, to this realm. And that's scary because you've already built up a brand and a presence and a this and a that. And then, and there's that fear. What are people going to think about me? How are people going to, see what I'm doing? Are they going to think I'm crazy? Like all of this stuff. I don't know if anybody else has these thoughts, but I did. So, but then just kind of grounding in like, no, you know what, if I'm following my spirit, then that's what's going to lead me down the path of my dreams. And just allowing myself to do that has been the most rewarding, but also the most challenging aspect of being an entrepreneur thus far.
Right. Yeah, it is a journey. It's not a one stop. It's like a path, and you keep going,
Definitely.
So how do you think style supports a woman while she's, in trying to figure out her confidence level and her self-worth as she's going through building business or her career or whatever it is that she's doing?
I think that, well, for me, I will say that style has definitely helped me in my confidence. Like when you do a photo shoot and, you have clothing that you look your best in, that you feel your best in, it definitely boosts your ability to be like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. I'm here to serve. I can do things, in my way, and it'll be great. Like you have all of these internal shifts that happen when you feel good with who you are on the outside, just as well as you feel good about who you are on the inside. And I mean, it can just totally change your day. Like, even though I'm an entrepreneur and I can choose to work from home if I want to, I never work at home in pajamas. I never do that. I always get up and always put on something that I feel really good in, because it does affect the way that I work. So I feel like, as an entrepreneur and doing, having your own style and allowing your style to grow and shift and change, and just having fun with clothing and just feeling good in clothing makes such a huge difference in the way that you show up in the world, which will then affect your business, which then affects your bottom line.
Exactly. Yeah. In my interview with Regina, she talked about how if you see her on a day where she's like really in a style, like over the top kind of style, that's probably when she was not feeling her best. So she kind of went and overdid everything to support the fact of trying to feel better or feeling better, not trying, but, putting on that persona of, okay, whatever it is, whatever, but I'm going to look and feel like life is great.
Yeah. And you know what I mean, that most of the time you want to stay in yoga pants, or you want to stay in like something comfortable or whatever. You're at home, who cares? Like nobody's gonna see it. But it does shift your mood. It does shift and change. So I agree with her. It's like me getting up and actually putting on something that I feel good in does really change the way I feel internally, which then does affect the way that I work and the things that I do as a businesswoman as well. So
right. So how would you suggest that somebody goes about finding their style? Like, how did you figure your style out when you were going along in life, especially if you were building your business?
Yeah, and I would say that, well, the first thing I did, and this is not a shameless plug, but it really is. I actually did hire a stylist when I first was trying to figure out like what I wanted my brand to represent. Like it was about who I was serving and how I wanted to show up, and I needed to be or talk to somebody who understood color and understood my body type and understood what would look best on me. And we literally worked together, and I put together a Pinterest board of things that I liked, And, that's where we started. I was like, these are things that I like. These are things that, that are fun, or that, I think look good. And then she took that and she immediately saw the color palette I was into. She immediately saw what kind of shapes I enjoy. She gave a name to what my style was, which I didn't even know, you know what I mean? So it was really helpful for me to kind of have a second eye on what I was into and say, oh yeah, well, you really like these kinds of colors, and oh, you're really into this. And I didn't realize I had, and my style has evolved. Like, I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time, and when I initially started, it was a lot more street style than, living in New York. I mean, come on, it was a lot more street style when I first started, and I was and I was in my early 30s. So, I had a different type of vibe and a different type of energy. But as I grew and matured, my business grew and matured with me, my style grew and evolved as well. And so being able to just kind of have someone else's eyes on things, and then suggest things to me that I wouldn't have never picked for myself. I mean, she's still trying to get me in patterns to this day, and she's still trying to get me in patterns, but I'm open to it. I'm trying it, but it was very helpful. And so I think that the first thing that you can do, if you're not in a position to hire a stylist just yet, or have somebody look at you can afford one style session. Most people can, but if you can't, just start with a Pinterest board. Just create a Pinterest board and just put stuff on there that you like, and see if you can pinpoint the fabrics or the colors that you like, or see if you can kind of see a theme, a running theme in the things that you're interested in. Or, I see a lot of dresses here. Oh, I see a lot of black. Or, oh, I see a lot of feminine swirls. Like, I mean, whatever. I'm not a stylist, but I can say that was definitely, when she pointed that out to me, I saw exactly what she was talking about when she pointed out what she saw in terms of like the palette that I liked. And I basically bought from that board. I looked at things that were interesting to me on that board. And when I went out somewhere and I saw a thing that was similar to what I had on my board, I would just buy it. And my board was on my phone all the time because I had the Pinterest app. So like, I could, if I'm in a store, I could just look at the board and see the kinds of things I was into if I didn't remember. But the other thing I would say is just go off of how you feel. Like, because style is really about how you feel. It's not about looking a certain way to represent a certain thing so other people get you. It's really about you feeling really good within yourself. So if you put a piece of clothing on and you're adjusting it and it doesn't feel comfortable, and it's it's too tight or too loose, or it's when you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't have that little you don't have that feeling, then it's probably not the right piece for you. And I kind of go from that at this point. It's really just about how I feel now, where before, it was, when I started, it was about me looking at things from her perspective and kind of getting an understanding of my overall style. But now I just go off how I feel.
Yeah. And that's, so my mentor was Carla Mathis, still is. And we talked about that too. And like how people innately know, because you're the best resource for yourself. You innately know, but you don't know that you know. So it takes someone else's eye, or asking the right questions, or having you do the exercise like the Pinterest board or something like that, that gets that out. So I can help you interpret it. And it becomes like a collaboration of like, okay, try this color, try this style, do this, do that, things that you are outside of your normal comfort zone, so that you do explore things that you're like, man, I never knew I could look good in that color or that dress or that whatever.
Exactly. Just play. Like how when we were, little kids, like we would play dress up and get in costumes and, that kind of stuff all the time. Just play, just have fun and just kind of get a feel for what you're into. And you're just, for me, it's really just going on the feeling. Like, do I feel good in this thing? When I put it on, do I want to put it on and not take it off? You know what I mean? Like, that's my, if I really like something, I keep looking at myself in the mirror. Or if I leave out of a store and I'm still thinking about that item like the next day, I'm going back for it.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. And then getting into the habit of trying things on, because a lot of times people just don't want to, either because they claim they don't have time, or they're not really happy about where their body might be at the moment. So they're avoiding mirrors and things like that. But you have to train yourself to take the time to try things on, because that way then you really start to see how something fits, why it doesn't fit, like all these things, and even the color, how it looks on you, how does it make you feel, like all those things. So you have to try clothes on. That's just a requirement. Whenever I take people shopping, try everything on, even if you think it doesn't look right. It's going to look different how it is on the hanger than it does on your body.
That's true. But I will also say that I get that, because I've had those moments where I didn't want to. And those fluorescent lights are just mean in dressing rooms. They're just not nice lights to look at yourself in. It points out every little thing that you didn't even know you had. But what I would say that, because I personally, I don't enjoy shopping. I don't like shopping. So for me, but I know that if I buy something that I don't enjoy, I'm going to feel worse about that purchase than I do feel better. And I'm not supposed to feel bad about what I'm putting on my body or in my closet. Right. So, and that's just my own personal mantra. I want to love everything that I have. Mm-hmm. So I do go, and I understand that feeling of like not wanting to go into the dressing room and, feeling like that. I felt like that before too. Like, oh God, I don't want to try this on. Mm-hmm. But I always regretted it when I didn't try it on. Mm-hmm. And the other piece of that is try it on when you don't have, like, when you don't have to wear a lot of layers. Like, I don't wear a lot of layers. When I go shopping, I'll usually just wear like a one-piece flowy dress or something like that. Something that you can pull on and pull off really fast. Yeah. Because if you're putting on shoes that's got all these laces and, straps and stuff, and then you got on 12 layers, and then, who wants to try on things? Yeah. Nobody. Like, wear something simple that you can pull on and take off when you go shopping, and then that way it'll be a little easier to deal with those icky fluorescent lights.
Yeah. That's great advice. I mean, and too, Ann Taylor did a whole revamp of all of their stores and all of their dressing rooms, and so there's much more inviting now. There's even a nice stool to put your stuff on. There's a full-length mirror that's beautiful, got nice lighting. So and chandeliers, so it makes a difference too.
It does. It makes a difference in how you feel. I mean, to me, I would more so buy. I went to JoNas, and JoNas had this fabulous lighting. They gave me champagne. Like, it was like the most beautiful experience. They picked out everything for me before I got there. All I had to do was go in. Do you realize how much money I spent on that day? I was like, they know what they're doing, because beautiful lighting, you look good in the clothes, they picked out everything. So yeah, I mean, if that's the experience that you have, you're much likely going to spend more money than looking at yourself in a fluorescent light and looking at every dimple and wrinkle. Like, girl, like, I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but it's not.
No, a man designed most dressing rooms, let's just say. Okay.
I don't know who did that. We need to have the stylists get together and like force the stores to change that lighting and whatnot, change the environment, because
strong suggestions.
it would benefit them, So I agree. But yeah, absolutely. So I would say, if you're like me and you're not somebody who really likes to, like, go and try things on or whatever, just wear something that you can slip on and slip off. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. And I have to say, when I do a goddess day of shopping, and that's one of the things that I do, is I put Prosecco in my Prada. And so we have stuff to sip while we're in the dress.
I'm hiring you next time. Like, girl, where those drinks at?
Ask Monica, because that's what I did for her when we went and we did a bra fitting and everything, and I pulled the Prosecco out and we drank it right in the dressing room, because she always was feeling a little, whatever about it. So, and that helped, and it made it fun, and the bra fitter was awesome, so it was a great experience for her. So
the experience makes all the difference. It really does.
It's so true. So what are your 5 go-to items in your daily style routine or makeup or whatever you have to have? Like 5 things that before you go out the house you have to have.
Well, one thing I always have to have on, like, a lipstick or a lip color. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, like, when I was younger, I used to only wear, like, MAC Oh Baby, because that was, like, the only color that was, like, available for a woman of my complexion. But now it's like, I absolutely love lip color, all different colors. So I always have to have something for my lips. I'm usually a leather jacket person, so I always have to have a leather something on, but usually a leather jacket. That's just one of my style staples pretty much.
Yeah.
I always have to have really nice earrings on. Always earrings that make me feel good personally, because you probably won't see them because of my hair. But for me, I just like having earrings on. I like to have an earpiece.
Right.
So what is that? That's 3.
Yeah.
3, right? Okay. Number 4, if I'm going into one of my go-to items, if I'm like moving out about in the city, because I still have like my style is really there's like a bit of fierce feminine on one end, and then there's a little bit of more of a tomboy femme on the other end, right? So I have a little bit of both depending on if I'm going out and about in the city or I'm going to an event. So if I'm going out and about in the city, it's, you know, leather jacket, earrings, lip color, Pumas. Like I always have a set of like high top Pumas or low top Pumas, always, because they're good city shoes. You move through the city really fast, and they always look stylish. If you have something like leather on, they always have like a cute little street style to them.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, they do, right? So I absolutely love that. And usually I have some type of tote because I'm a city girl. I'm in the city. I'm moving around all the time. I don't like to carry a lot of bags. And my totes usually don't even have a lot of things in them. It's just if I need to pick something up or if I need to hop to a store, I can just throw it in the tote versus carrying around a bunch of bags. I don't want to look like no bag lady. So I'll carry a tote.
No, that's right.
And my tote specifically is always kind of connected to something artistic. So my recent tote is a Coach tote, but it has designs by Keith Haring on it. And I love kind of connecting to the artistic climate of the city that I'm in. So I'm usually always have on something kind of artistic. So that's what I would say is like my uniform for the most part.
Yeah. Did you ever get that bag I showed you? The
Which
skull
bag?
on it? The one with the skull on it?
Oh, no, I didn't, but I will tell you, like, that's something that I have on my list of things to get. Let me tell you, Kara had a gorgeous bag and it had a skull on it, okay? And like, for most people, that would be like, what? But for me, I was like, oh, where did you get that? It was, and I have a thing for skulls. I love skulls, but like I said, my style is a little bit like, either fierce femme or tomboy femme. That's kind of where I kind of play ball. And my stylist said that I have like some bohemian in me too, which probably I do, but
the earrings just serve a little bit.
The earrings totally give me away, right? And I've always have something off the shoulder, and so but like I said, it's really just about like feeling good, so that's kind of the uniform that makes me feel like I'm at my best, especially moving through the city. You don't want to have on like sexy strappy shoes. I don't want to mess up all my cute shoes that I want to go to events and fun things with if I'm just like tracing through the city doing things, like just having a good time. But if I go somewhere cute, I throw my hot shoes in the tote till I get there.
Right. Yeah, and that's the best thing to do because it doesn't wear the shoes out or your feet.
Or your feet. Your feet are the most important thing. It's like you can't wear cute shoes if your feet are all jacked up. So, definitely I always have a tote with me, just hands down, always. It's never something that I leave the house without.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Never know where the city's gonna take you.
So true. So in the midst of all of this business building and everything you've been doing, what do you do for fun?
That's a good question. I love dancing. So I'm a huge S Factor fan. And yes, we're usually if you're a Mama Gina girl, you probably are an S Factor girl too.
Yeah.
It goes. They're kind of like a sister two-parter, right? Yep. But I love, and I also love I love salsa dancing. And I really, really, really enjoy going to anything that's related to art. So I love going to shows. I love going to plays. I love going to anything that has to do with art. I love going to film festivals, anything that has to do with art. I'm not a huge concert person just because concerts are just so wild. And I'm at that point where I can't deal with like all of the like stuff that goes along with getting to a concert. Yeah. But But I really do, I enjoy, music, culture, anything that has to do with art. So I'm an art buff, love art. I'm constantly at museums. I'm constantly at, openings. Like that's my jam. And dance. Those are the two things that I do the most. And being with my girlfriends, of course, like having fun and chatting.
I think we're spirit animals in that way, because I'm a huge, I've always been a huge music fan. Like I could walk around with my AirPods, earpods, whatever they are, all day and just listen to music and not have to listen to all the chatter. That would be heaven for me.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel naked if I don't have headphones with me. Like that's one of the staples that's inside of the tote is like, where's my headphones? Like I have to have them before I leave the house because I'm always going to be listening to music. So, but I was also a musician too. So, that was a big part of my life. So it always keeps me connected to my roots. And I mean, I'm from Detroit, for crying out loud. I mean, Motown, hello. So yeah, exactly. So we're just connected to music in that way. So yeah, for sure, headphones always.
Yeah. I feel crazy when I go to the gym with that. If I leave them at home or something, I'm like, I don't want anybody to come talk to me. I want to have that look like I'm trying to work out.
True. And the bottom line is that, the city can be crazy and there's so many people and so much noise. And sometimes you just want to be in your own zone. Like you can be amongst people, but you still want to be in your own world in a sense. And so the headphones definitely give that. And I don't read books anymore. So I always listen to them. So that's another reason why I always have headphones. So
that makes sense too.
Yeah. Get them. I read them a lot faster when I'm listening.
Yeah, I think we talked about that because I'm an old-fashioned book person. Like I gotta have it in my hand and the underlining and the dog earring of the page and all of that. Nope. I have a library here.
I got an Audible account. Okay, just pop it in, and I just want to hear what they have to tell me, and then move on. I have too many books. I have bookcases of books, and I've had to do book cleanse more so than even closet cleanse. Like, I've had to do that so many times. So I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. I used to work at Borders before Borders was defunct. So, you're pretty much working for books. So back in the day, like that's what I did as one of my jobs in college. So it was just, at some point, you just kind of have to get to a point where you're like, okay, enough is enough. Let me just put everything online. And I still like the feel of a book. So I'm never going to like look at a book on a Kindle. I just won't.
Right.
I already know I'm just not going to. I'm either going to have a book in my hand or I'm going to have it in my ear. Like that's pretty much how I roll.
Yeah. I used to do mystery shopping for Borders. That's so funny. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that's how I got a lot of my books because they would pay you a certain fee for the mystery shop, but then they would also reimburse you for a purchase up to like $15 or something like that. And they had them like every month and you could do them at multiple Borders stores. So literally I was buying like 30 books a month or something crazy like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so easy to go down that path where you're literally just working for books. So, and then you're carrying them everywhere. So, my mom was a record promoter. And so she was just taking cases and cases of records everywhere we moved. And I'm cases and cases of books everywhere I moved. So, I got into the audio thing and now that's my jam. And I've read so many books last year just because of the fact that I could listen to them versus read them. So
it's awesome. Like do whatever works best for you for sure.
Absolutely. So that's definitely one of my pastimes to have fun.
Definitely. So do you have anything coming up that you can share with our viewers, like an event or an ebook or a webinar or anything that you want to share?
Well, what's going to be happening this year is I'm going to be releasing my legal course again. And it's going to be specifically for new entrepreneurs to know what it is that you need to do legally. I released it about 2 years ago and it did extremely well. Like everyone loved it, but I realized that I wanted to refine what my approach and like re-record all of the recordings that I did and rejudge the content and whatnot, keep it fresh and funky. So this year that's going to be happening. So if you want to be if you're interested in that or interested in any of like the tips that have to do with either personal development or business development, you can find me at jonawilliams.com. That's JoNA WILLIAMS.com, and you can sign up for my list there, and you'll get tips on how to protect your business online and beyond.
That's awesome, because we all need that.
Yes, we do. And people do not have it together in that area, and that's the one place that can take you down is legal and tax. So you want to make sure that you have everything set up on the right foundation if you're going to be putting yourself out there as an entrepreneur. And so I realized there was a lack of resources and knowledge out there. So, create what you want to see. So.
That's awesome, because I mean, really, we all need that to protect ourselves and to just keep it tight.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, if you want to check that out, you can check me out on my website and sign up for my list.
Yay, awesome. So is there anything else you want to share before we conclude? This has been a great chat and catching up with you, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely. As far as it relates to style, I just have fun with it. I think that people really, really stress out. It's like, don't wait until you get to a certain weight to change your style. Like create the kind of style that you want now, because what will happen is that it'll magnetize what it is that you want towards you. It'll magnetize like that body that you desire. If you love the body that you're in, you will eventually, end up at the body that, you ultimately desire. So I just say, really just dress the body that you have now, love the body that you have now, enjoy the body that you have now, and everything else will follow. So.
That's great advice, because I do get some people that are like, well, I don't want to spend a lot of money till I lose 20 pounds. I'm like, but you still have to wear clothes until
And the bottom line is that, are you just going to walk around frumpy and hating the way that you look, and you think that hating yourself enough is going to lead you to the body that you want?
Yeah.
No, it's actually loving yourself that leads you to your ultimate desires for how it is that you want to be. When you feel better, you make better choices. You make better choices, you actually end up, bringing that body into fruition that you desire. So I'm speaking from experience. I lost 45 pounds only on that advice. Like, I didn't change my diet or my movement. I really just enjoyed who I was in this moment and loved who I was in the present moment, and found things that excited me to put on my body the way that it was. And eventually everything else followed. So it's like, don't wait, just do it now and have fun now in your body now.
Exactly. That's so great advice, really, because I've encountered that multiple times, and I'm like, well, at least if you're not truly even say if you were gonna do working out and doing all that stuff too, in the meantime, you still have to wear clothes that fit you, and that leads to the inspiration of like, wow, I do really look good, and then it gives you more incentive to keep going. But at the same time, you still need, because half the time your stuff isn't fitting. If you've lost 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds, you can't wear the same clothes that you were at that weight. It doesn't work. So no, you don't have to spend $2,000 on a new wardrobe, but at least buy a few pieces that fit you now, you feel great in, you look great in them, and then that's gonna, just like you said, give you the inspiration to keep going and love the body that you have.
Absolutely. I think that it's one of the most important things that I learned for changing that. And I don't have anything in my closet that I don't love. And that's the other thing, is like, take out all of the crap that you don't love, like, give it away, throw it away, don't throw it away, be resourceful, take it to the, Salvation Army or something. But like, just have a closet full of things that you like, that you can like enjoy now. And, and as you get smaller and smaller, it'll be fun, because then you're like, oh, this thing that I love so much doesn't even fit anymore. Let me go buy a new outfit. Like, it'll feel better, like, and it's all, feeling good is the goal. So.
Yes, so true. And fabulous, great advice as always.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to hang out again. Hopefully you're coming to one of the experiences soon, so we can get back in the room with the rest of our sister goddesses.
That's definitely possible. When I head back up that way or whatever, I'll look and see what they got going on.
Awesome. Yes. But thank you so much again, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.